Hi, I'm Kimberly, and I went through over a decade of severe chronic experiences, and now I'm here sharing my story and helping others along in various ways through their journey through coaching and in-person workshops and other various things. So today was a day of big inspiration and a lot of stuff coming through, and one thing that I was hugely inspired by was a session today and something that we chatted about, and it's been coming up in a lot of places. There have been a lot of themes recently, but I want to describe how to see somatics and when we are in our place of light and feeling that expansion, feeling the ideas, the creativity, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, seeing how we can take steps to get to where we want to be, versus the side that feels like the darkness and the doubt coming in and the fears coming in. So we have these two sides of us. They are always there in some capacity, and sometimes we're really in the light and expansion, and sometimes that doubt and that fear really comes in and we can feel that. So kind of just giving a little bit of an explanation of this. So somatics is the way that we feel things in our body. It's the way that things present and show up in our system. And I talk a lot about somatic tracking. So somatic tracking, there's exercises in somatic tracking, and then there is also somatic tracking journaling. So that is tracking your somatics through journaling. So when we notice things, we can see it two ways. So one is that we feel something in the body first. We notice some symptom or thing coming up and experience physically in the body, pain or digestive or sleep or whatever it is that's coming up in some capacity, headaches, nausea, something coming up. And we notice it coming up in the body. Then we think about what was happening before that thing came up in the body. What was I experiencing? Who was I talking to? What situation just happened? Was I working on something? Was there something that happened earlier that day? The thoughts that are coming through our mind at that moment is really, really important. And we're going to get more dialed in on these things as we practice this. So the other way to see this is that we notice a thought coming through, a feeling, an emotion coming through, and then we notice something physically happening in the body. So this can happen both ways. Most people experience it both ways. Some people will notice that first they notice it in the body oftentimes, or that they notice it in the emotions and in the thoughts first. However, the more that you practice this tracking of somatics, the more that you are going to get good at it, the more that you're going to start to go, oh, that just happened, and that is a correlation to this. So we become very aware of when we are in that light part of it, that expansion. We feel our energy expanding. We feel creative. We feel passionate. We feel in flow with something. This can happen in an activity, a hobby that we're doing, an idea that's coming to mind. All of a sudden we're inspired and something really sparks us and we light up. It's when we are sometimes in a conversation with a friend that this happens. There's all different things. Or we're inspired by watching a movie or something that's happening, a song that's coming on. When we're dancing, all these different things can happen at different times for different circumstances. When you're out on a walk, or you see a really beautiful image of something or something in nature, that there's this feeling of expansiveness, a feeling of I can take things on, and I am capable, and I'm excited, and I'm deserving, and I'm passionate about this. I feel a drive. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So this is the lightness. This is when we feel light in our bodies. This is when we feel like we can do, when we feel we are. A little bit more esoterical, but that is it. And then we have that darkness side, that part that feels like we're going inward And you can see this in body positioning. So when somebody's standing like this, or they're opening their arms and they're excited about something, they are literally creating expansion in their body. Like you can see this in somebody when they're excited. When you see a speaker or a presenter on stage, they are being full and open and expanding their space and projecting their voice. However, when we're in that doubt, in that fear, we go inward, and we literally, when you see somebody that's like this, you know that something's wrong. Or when they're like this, or holding themselves in, you know that something is, that they're experiencing something, they're going through something, they're feeling some strong feelings that they're processing at the moment, or their thoughts are in a place that aren't benefiting them. So when we notice that darkness coming in, and we notice ourselves getting smaller, and we notice ourselves going in, that is when those doubts and those fears come in. So we can take, when we feel the expansiveness, and really cement in how we are feeling in that moment with the expansiveness. What does our body feel like? What are the thoughts going on in our head? And this is where in brain retraining, we can conjure up those feelings and those thoughts. So this is the lightness, the expansiveness. And then this is the darkness. And when we notice those thoughts coming through that switch and something, we're in the expansiveness, we're excited, we're doing something, we're going towards our goals, and it's like, but wait, can I actually do this? Like, is this like, but what about this one thing? And this thing is like really there. And then all of a sudden we're like, and we're getting smaller again. So this is when we can start to notice those first thoughts. So we're here, and then we notice like, wait, but can I don't know, and catch, oh, wait, hold on. I was just here, and I just realized I'm here now. What are the thoughts that came through? And this is where we track it so that we can re-expand ourselves. We can catch ourselves before we get to this moment. So tracking this in journaling, noticing how I felt when I was like this in the light and the expansion, and then also noticing what I was like when I was like this, and starting to make the bridge, the connection between the two. So that is the tracking, this is the journaling, this is the noticing, this is the feeling into these things, and feeling in the body when we are in that dark and that doubt and that fear, feeling in the body, what am I noticing in this moment? Where am I feeling this in my body? Because we don't just necessarily need to like be like, no, I can't feel that, and push it away. It's okay to feel this, like something's coming up. We're breaking through the barriers here. We're changing our neural pathways. We're rewiring our nervous system here. So in this, where we're constricted and we're in fear and doubt, this is where we are starting to change from that. So this is where we can notice the patterns that are coming up. When I talked to this person, this happened, and oh, a couple weeks later, I talked to this person, and guess what? This happened again. I got a headache. I had nausea. I felt fatigued afterwards. I felt like my energy was sucked out of me. That happens when we talk to certain people. And if we're in a place where we're trying to conserve our energy, where we're trying to heal in various different ways, and we're keep giving our energy to different people, our energy keeps getting sucked away from us in these situations, we can become aware of these situations, circumstances, people that we are feeling the energy draining away from us. And then we can start to call that back and say, wait a minute, I didn't feel good after that. Like, why am I putting this in my situation? And this leads to patterns of, what are my interactions with these people? Do I want to keep like interacting in these specific ways? And it doesn't necessarily mean cutting somebody out and saying like, no, it's done. It might in some cases, but it means that we can change the way we interact with people. We can change the way that we respond to people. We can change and be aware of our emotional charge around something. Emotional charge is just something that we feel. It's something that comes up in emotion, and there's a charge behind it. So if we're feeling all of a sudden anger based on something, this could be called a trigger, we're exposed to something and then we feel this emotion to it, that is an emotional charge to something. So you might be shown an apple and have no emotional charge to it, but somebody else is shown an apple and it reminds them of when they shared an apple with the person that they just broke up with. So that's an emotional charge that's there behind that stimuli, behind that situation, that thing, that representation. So we can start to connect the different representations. We can start to write them down and see the consistencies that happen between certain circumstances, between certain physical experiences in the body, between the thoughts that are coming up, the emotions that we're feeling through in our system. And we can also track what it feels like, really get clear and continue writing down when we feel this expansiveness, when we feel this aliveness, this lightness, and then also feel what it's like to be in this and write that down and track that. This is super, super powerful. It's super, super helpful, and it's really easy to do. This is something that I used in my own journey and continue using, because this is a never-ending thing. You can use this throughout your entire life once you learn to do this, to be like, whoa, I'm catching this, I'm noticing this coming up, I'm feeling this in my body, I'm thinking this thought coming through, this emotion is coming through. Where do I feel all this in my body? Do I feel tightness in my chest? Do I feel heartache? Do I feel a headache? Do I feel like my throat is constricting? Do I have pain in my hips? All these different things can come up, anything, literally any part of the body. There's a book called the Encyclopedia of Ailments and Diseases, which helps to link what different parts, different physical experience in the body can be to the emotional side of it, because different parts of our body do different things. They have different organ systems, they have different receptors, all sorts of different things. And so it's really cool to see where these different things can connect. So comment below if you were doing some kind of somatic tracking, if you're doing some kind of somatic journaling and keeping track of what it is that you're doing. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Your comments actually really help to get this content out to more people who are ready to see this, who could use this information. So even just giving me a heart down below, giving me a like here is super helpful as well. And please subscribe if you're interested in more content coming out. I would love to connect with you, continue connecting with you. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching and talking more about this stuff, or in energy work, follow my website in the link below and check out more of the stuff that I'm doing, or go over to Instagram at kimbers.newfrequency and we can connect over there as well. I hope that this helps in some way, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!